Is this a retro headlamp? Is this a workhorse? Did they do it? Did they get to a point where you get an affordable, relatively cheap headlamp that is an all-arounder? It just does the job. It has everything it should have. RGB, various warmth lights, replaceable batteries. Oh, batteries are something new. I think there is no other headlamp using this type of batteries. It is revolutionary. Can it really output 600 lumen for 40 minutes continuously? What if I start, then I stop, I start again? When does it stop to output 600 right from the start based on how the batteries get depleted? The math says it should stay at 600 lumen for 40 minutes and then should drop for 35 minutes at 400 lumen and then should drop more and eventually will stop running because the batteries are depleted. Two AA batteries, normal AA batteries, this is new. I don't recall ever seeing or hearing about two AA batteries headlamp that outputs 600 lumen for a lot of time. Is this even a thing? There is Duster House. This morning I edited and uploaded some videos here at McDonald's. Then I bought some groceries from there. I was supposed to buy only water. I ended up buying groceries. If all goes well, today we go to Venice. I fiddled with the Nitecore HA19 and I have a lot of unanswered questions. Is this smart or what it is? Two ordinary AA batteries. This is new. A simple plastic body in black and green, molded to allow two grabs. So black, green, simple plastic, two grabs. Interesting again. Simple push buttons, then 600 lumens, up to 2 hours and a half, they say. There is an ANSI standard mention, which means there is a trick for sure. But they say it is 600 lumens for 2 hours and a half with a max throw of 130 meters. Quite a lot, I will say. Again, they say so. It has 3 different white lights with a CRI, the color rendering index, reaching up to 98. This is very high, 98. And RGB. Not to say it has SOS, beacon, and slow flashing. I bought this. Let's see if they are good or anything. About the Nitecore HA19, the question is, which one is which? Which side of this headlamp tells the truth? What is hidden behind specs and standards, things that you have to deeply read and learn? Practically it's a half truth. Or what it really is, something that cannot be missed out. I don't know. Yeah, I should have not bought this, but I did. Not healthy. Is the Nitecore HA19 that affordable? They say it only costs $39. I presume plus minus the same value in euro and British pounds. If all these features are really there, almost true and real, it might very well be an affordable all-arounder if we stay and think. It is affordable if it really has and packs properly, without gimmicks, all these features. The question is, can the Nitecore HA19 beat the beam of the new Petzl Actik Core? We speak about the max output throw beam of the Petzl Actik Core. That one is interesting. Black Diamond Storm 500R cannot compete with that. Not even the Nitecore HA23 UHE. So, is the Nitecore HA19 max output throw beam competing with a new Petzl Actik Core max output throw beam? I don't know if I'm saying it right, you get the idea. Also, is the Nitecore HA19 runtime at 600 lumen? They say 2 hours and a half. Is that true? And is that somehow as good as the runtime of the Black Diamond Storm 500R? We know it is impossible to beat the Black Diamond Storm 500R consistent output, but maybe it can compete with it. Again, we know 2 hours and a half is the claim, 600 lumens output. If it is as consistent as possible, without overheating, without stepping down after a couple of minutes, then it might compete with a Black Diamond Storm 500R consistent output. Maybe. They got worse and worse even in Italy because they change the way they grow them and then they send them to the supermarkets. Because of that, everything practically gets good to eat in the freezers, and this is bad. Unfortunately, the melon in Italy is not as good as it was 10-15 years ago. The Nitecore HA19. Another question. They say it has high CRI, up to 98, amazing index. Is the color rendering index of these various white lights, the RGB, the SOS, the beacon, the slow flashing, is this a distraction or really beneficial? I don't know. I usually don't eat mortadella, but I thought, why not? Let's just buy it. The two AA batteries, replaceable batteries of the Nitecore HA19. Is this a step backwards, makes this the headlamp retro, or it is smart? I don't know. Another question. Let's put in the fridge. The tomatoes as well. Not as good as many years back, the tomatoes. I don't know what happens with the industry. They feed us food that no longer tastes as it was tasting before. At first glance, the Nitecore HA19, let's go to Venice, let's start this drive. At first glance, it is the perfect headlamp. I always wanted it. Affordable, $39, whatever that might mean in euro and British pounds. Then replaceable AA batteries, 2 of them. Well, I presume from a current perspective is better than the AAA batteries, I presume, so an advantage. Then it comes with a cool white, this is the lowest CRI. The neutral white, this should be around 85, and then the warm white, this is the highest, 98. Imagine this, the warm white, you'll use that when you have fog, and then to read maps, to read the terrain. The perception over the colors is the best our eye can get under the circumstances. Interesting, but it is more science, more to learn. Do we really use that? I don't know, maybe yes, maybe not. It comes with red, green and blue, my beloved RGB, and a unibody optical lens system with various facets. I have no clue what this means, but I presume it improves the efficiency of the LEDs, the thermal, how they output, how they throw, the beam shape, all these things. They say the body is special plastic that deals well with cold temperatures. This is interesting. Then that the IP rating is 68, so this makes it waterproof. Again, this is good. I don't know what to think. I really don't know. I always wanted this headlamp, always. I was thinking it would be best to have a 600 lumens RGB with at least 3 different white lights, and then the beacon is good, SOS, I want SOS, and the slow flashing. You want these different types of flashing. At least they added 600 lumens. The Black Diamond Storm 500R needs a refreshment, but the beam, the max output throw beam, then the thrower and the floating beams, the output, the consistency of the output are very important. They matter a lot. Is it overheating? How does it deal with hot and cold temperatures? A question. We have to answer that. It's not only the specs, it's not only the numbers, it's not only the lumens. It is all these things together, how the headlamp behaves all together. This video is about a headlamp that I believe it is revolutionary. Now, if it is another marketing gimmick or a marketing attempt or an attempt to differentiate themselves, or really the product is revolutionary, stay with me and let's find out together, because there is so much dilemma when it comes to this headlamp that I might need your help into the comments. I'm here, Punta Sabbioni in Italy. My aim is to go to Venice, and I ended up here. I'm still searching for a ferry that will take me to Venice. Might be in that direction. This summer we definitely have a trend. Everywhere you'll see this, how should we call it? A trolley. let me tell you something. I have one at home from EcoFlow. I always ask myself what would be the best way of using it, of utilizing it. Going to the beach with it. Now I know. It baffles me because I cannot make sense of it. Let me explain. I got here, it is the B terminal for Venice. I was thinking about this headlamp that I think it is revolutionary. I always chased for high lumens output and then RGB. I really wanted it to have RGB and then different warmths for the main light because I thought it is important to have. Then in time I realized that whatever I was buying was good but not good enough, was promising a lot but not delivering. Yes, we were doing, but when you most needed its features, they were not available. I had headlamps that they just burnt and stopped working, then others not lasting at all, throwing some burst for a moment and then being out of service. You needed to replace the battery or to recharge. And then I had the other ones that were not doing enough. When you are in pitch dark and struggle for survival, or you need a device, a headlamp, a light you can rely on and see the detail that you want to do or do the job you want to achieve, and you see that it fails, it is disappointing, it frustrates you. You get to that point of being frustrated. My question about this headlamp is, did they do it? Did they get to a point where you get an affordable, relatively cheap headlamp that is an all-arounder? It just does the job. It has everything it should have. RGB, various warmth lights, replaceable batteries. Oh, batteries are something new. I think there is no other headlamp using this type of batteries. Imagine that. I think it's the first of its kind, running on AA batteries, 2 of them. While I'm walking through Venice, I keep thinking about this headlamp. The question is, do we have marketing gimmicks behind it, or marketing attempts, or a company attempting to differentiate itself, the result of continuous innovation? What this is? I know what it is, in my opinion. I love the brand, I love the headlamp, I love their products, I love the effort they make. So my impression is there is no gimmick. This is plastic. It is a headlamp made of plastic, standard body, and it has dual AA replaceable batteries. Since when? We never had this in a headlamp. This is interesting. It is simple design, all plastic. You can replace the batteries. And it is 2 AA batteries. That one is the innovation or the interesting thing. Is this a retro headlamp? Are they innovating in that direction? I'll get in here and we continue after. Until Nitecore HA23 UHE, I never seen a headlamp providing warm white, cold white, yellow, but I liked the idea. And then recently I got to test and work with Sofirn HS23. Not HA, it is HS. It's not Nitecore, it is Sofirn. Different animal. I liked the idea with original Nitecore HA23 UHE. Then when I've seen it at Sofirn, I thought innovation, I love it. Add to a headlamp RGB, 3 color warmths, white, cold white and yellow, or cold white, warm white and yellow, flooding and penetrating beam. This should be the standard to any headlamp. You should have strobe, SOS and some sort of other type of signaling, right? Good. When I've seen this at Sofirn, I got enthusiastic about it. And then, while reading the specs, I've seen there an abbreviation, CRI, Color Rendering Index. The higher the number is, the more accurate the color you are seeing under the light produced by the headlamp will be to your eye. Interesting. I'm unpacking everything that I bought, and I should have not. It was only about water. I bought flour for pizza. They say flour for pizza. Is it different than the normal flour? I don't know. Maybe this is why I always wasn't able to get the right pizza. I always tried to get the best dough for pizza possible, as similar as what you find in the good places of Italy. Always failed. So I bought flour for pizza. We'll see. I didn't buy too much. Rice. Oh, I bought so much rice back again. Let's clarify this thing with RGB, because it's not me being fixed on the RGB. And also, let's speak about the color rendering index, CRI. I'm new to CRI. I first time seen it now with a Sofirn HS23 headlamp. I was reading the specs and then I see there mentioned CRI. And I thought, what CRI means? Why does it matter out of a sudden? This because the Nitecore HA23 UHE doesn't say anything about it. Maybe the LEDs are not yet there, or they didn't thought about it. What Nitecore HA23 UHE did was to introduce these different white lights, warms, the cool white, neutral white, and then the warm white. I've seen the CRI mentioned with the Sofirn HS23, and I got curious. And then I've seen it now with the Nitecore HA19. It is a lot of HA abbreviations around HA, HS, HA, HS. You get confused. I started to pay attention, and practically what it says is the higher the CRI index, the more accurate is how we perceive the color of what is around us. For example, with a warm white, the Nitecore HA19 has a CRI of 98. This is very high. It is almost 100%, right? Almost perfect. There is a trade-off. When you have high CRI, it consumes more power, it appears, maybe I'm wrong. And then the intensity is less compared to a lower CRI. It is how you build the LEDs and the technology behind building the LEDs. Lower CRI means higher intensity and it throws better, it appears. But with high CRI, you get to see the colors as they are. If you repair a watch, if you want to clean something or repair something, if you want to see something, a detail, if you have fog or you want to see a map properly, then you need a high CRI. Hence, the warm white might be the right color to use. Now, this needs to be learned because you have them and you need to learn when, how, what to use and why. Lower CRI means it penetrates more, it goes deeper, it produces more light. So if you want that, then you don't go with warm white, you go with cool white. The RGB, again, it is something that you have to learn to use and to live with it. Red means we can stay blind and see at the same time. What this means, red doesn't take away our adaptability to the dark. We can fast switch between red and dark around us. We can keep our eye adapted to the dark environment. Then the green, it appears the green is something that our eye reads natively. When you have green light, it might appear lighter just because our eye is able to natively read that better. Then the blue, well, the blue is just the B out of RGB. It has its purposes, it can be used, but it is niche. Red for when you want to stay somehow incognito or to have a small footprint, small signature footprint. Some animals might not see it and you might be invisible to them. And it allows you to do fast the transition from having some sort of light to no light. Your eye stays adapted to the dark. With a green, it's not white, so you are still somehow incognito, small signature footprint, but you see better around because our eye is natively accustomed to the green light. Something to know about, something to learn, and why not use it